Uh, hey, what's up, everyone? I am just checking my audio, making sure everything is coming through. If you guys can hear me and see me, just say what's up. How you doing? It's good to see you. It is 4 below 0 here in Chicagoland. I'm sure some of you in other parts of the country are also struggling with the cold, but nevertheless, we're gonna heat it up here because we're gonna be talking about something that seems to elude many practitioners, and it shouldn't be. This one's a really easy one, but I do understand that sometimes when you have to explain yourself on the things like why do I have to come for so long, or why is it so expensive, or I don't like that type of adjustment. All of these particular questions, complaints, grievances somehow stop us in our track. Now, I want to let you know that the people and the practitioners and anyone in this world who deal with these types of situations appropriately, professionally, and with a high level of elegance, it's not an accident. Like, you have to prepare for these situations because you know it's going to happen. And that's the biggest thing. And before we get into anything else, I just want to explain something. Is that when you see others crushing it, okay, like that D student that you went to school with, like how the heck is this guy lapping me in impact, overall revenue, and volume? Don't get too like on his case so much, because it's possible that this person worked on it. Like, they worked on these particular skills. They worked on a way to appropriately respond to common questions, concerns, grievances that your patients may give you. Because ultimately, and this is in healthcare in general, what medicine has, the standard medical model has proven to us, is that you can't get away with what they call poor bedside manner. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if you know this, but in modern medicine, there are med students and actually practitioners that are entering what's called sensitivity training. It's just crazy, and the marketplace is screaming this. Like, we don't like how we're treated in healthcare. You know what I'm saying? Because I ask a question, or I'm complaining about something, and I'm not being treated appropriately. In retail, you understand? Like, that's in hospitality. That's their main thing: customer service, and for some reason in healthcare, it's not a thing. Well, in chiropractic, it should be a thing. We're better at it than other healthcare providers, but we still got to get better at a lot of this stuff. So if you guys are watching me right now, hey, let me know you can hear me, you can see me. Just give me a thumbs up in the comment box. I'd appreciate it. We are streaming to Facebook Closers Club. We are streaming to the Facebook business page, and we're also streaming to Closer Chiro YouTube channel. So wherever you're following this, please just give me a thumbs up and a like or hello or something. Just let me know I'm not speaking to myself. I would really, really appreciate it. Okay, so let's get down to the brass tacks. This one's going to be very simple, right between the eyes, very high level, do level stuff. And this is how to explain to your patients when they say things like, why do I have to come for so long? First and foremost, whatever. One of the things that you have to not do in these situations is immediately revert to the typical defensive posture. Why do I have to call for so long? Immediately, the reflex is, holy shit, I'm going to have to defend my position. That's number one. Now, it's very, very easy for me to sit here and tell you don't do something, right? It's like asking you not to think about a pink elephant. Oh, there it goes, pink elephant. What we have to do, and this is the training that we give all of our docs in terms of changing our reflexes around these things, that it's not just a mental thing, it's a strategic thing. And that strategic thing is, instead of being defensive, we have to substitute with something else. And what is that? Agreement. Now, one of the first rules that you'll learn hanging with us is the rule of agreement. Your job is to agree no matter what. The reason you need to agree is because it tenderizes the other party to hear your point of view, whatever that might be. Oh, man, why do I have to come for so long? And by the way, and they say it, or they might say, 2 months is too long. 1 week is too long. 1 year is too long, whatever they say. The immediate response is, I get you. You're busy. I understand this is a long time. Come with agreement, okay? That tenderizes them to be like, oh, okay, he or she is with me. Let me now figure out what this person's about to say, because I want to listen to people that are in agreement with me. Why do I have to come for so long? John, I get it, man. If I had to do what I'm asking you to do, I'd be like, oh my God, I don't have the time. Agreement. You see what that does? Now, whatever you say after the fact has a better chance of penetrating, as opposed to this. Why do I have to come for so long? Because based off of the nature of the condition and the fact that it is chronic and it has been there for 10, 15, 20 years, the very nature of the chronicity of the problem, we need to break up the scar tissue to a point where it's going to be highly accessible to outside amplitude forces increased with increased velocity to the x squared and to the tangent of the cosine reciprocal. I mean, okay, that was just a joke, and that was a parody. But how many times have you had to go and explain yourself, and at the end of it, you know that didn't do shit because that person out there looking at you like, well, anyway, why do I have to come so long? Agreement. Why is it so expensive? Why is it's too much? It's too hot in here. It's too cold in here. It's like, oh yeah, I can see why you would say that. Agreement. Number one. Next thing. How do I explain what I have to come for so long? So here is after you agree, now we have to respond to something, okay? And the particular question, why do I have to come for so long? So when you respond to things like that, it has to be from the perspective of who's across from you. The first question you should be asking, and by the way, this is not something you have to do on the fly because you can prepare for this. What I'm asking you to do, listen to this mini training, write it down somewhere, prepare a response. Okay, scripting. Some of you hate scripting, but sometimes we just got to prepare. And why is it so bad that we are prepared with the proper things to say to the people that we're serving? Like, I would like for people to be prepared to communicate to me on certain things and for them to be scripted in those things. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind that. That just tells me they care enough about me to be prepared. So there's something wrong with being prepared, okay? AKA scripted or whatever. And prepare this statement, prepare for this dialogue so that if it happens, you're prepared and you don't look like a deer in headlights and you don't stress and you will use so much energy winging it all day long. And at the end of the day, you go home and you're totally tired because you're ill prepared. Sean Rundle says scripting gives you all the bases covered. Yes. And listen, for those of you who have been in business for any length of time, and maybe not even chiropractic for anything else, you do know the best businesses, the best systems, the best providers of a service or product in the world have their systems down solid, right? I mean, that should just go without saying. They just do. This is one of those things. Anyway, I agree. I understand. Wow, it's a long time. Agree. And then we follow with something like this. It could be a question. Or it could be a it could be a statement, and it can go something like this. Listen, John, if I could do it in less time, I would. And in a lot of cases, it does take more. But because of the way we're doing it, we're going to do it quicker. We're going to do it more efficiently. And the biggest thing is we're going to fix it once or do this once, and it doesn't have to be repeated. I just made that up. I'm just saying we have to back up our statement with a response from their perspective. Their perspective. Oh my God, I don't want to come here forever. Like, that's their perspective. So meeting them with, let's say, the mechanism of injury or the chronicity is not going to make a difference here because they don't care about that stuff. Logically, it makes sense to you, and I understand that. And this is one of those examples where if it logically makes sense to you, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make logical sense to them. They're an emotional response here. Oh my God, I don't want to come for so long. Or why do I have to come for so long? It's an emotional response. Now, our job is to meet them with an equally appropriate response emotionally to that. Man, I know it just seems like a long time, but I tell you what, man, if we do this the way we're going to do this, we correct this once, we fix this once, and it doesn't happen again, or then we can maintain it. Or it can say, if it took sooner, I would do that. And frankly, back in the day, or 20 years ago, whatever, it used to take longer, but now we have all this technology to make sure we get this done quicker, okay? So listen, just hang in there, just do what I ask you to do, you're going to be fine, we're going to get there, and if we don't, I'll let you know before you invest any more time. Would that work for you? Okay, doctor. Do you understand that? It's a response based on the perspective of who's asking you. Let me break this down into a situation or a situation where that you may actually relate to better. For those of you who are watching this, maybe you all have kids, right? So my son right now is stuck in Florida because his flight got canceled, right? So right now he's calling me little bit freak out, like what they're going to do. And he's like, Dad, can you, help me with this, help me with that. So it's an emotional creature trying to scramble to get on a flight back to school, right? He's already missed 2 days, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to hang out there any for longer than he needs to, right? So he's trying to get back. So now, for me, as a parent, my perspective is, what the fuck happened? Like, how'd your flight get canceled? Like, did you not figure this out? Who are you traveling with? Who's responsible for this? Who booked the ticket in the first place? Like, parent, right? But he is calling me in a perspective of slight panic. I'm in an airport. I don't know what to do. And he's 20 years old, so he doesn't have a ton of travel experience like I do. So he calls me for, like, what do I do? And then he goes, Dad, like, can you get this flight? Like, my buddy, Mike, wanted to buy for everyone, but there was a problem. But I just need to get my ticket to buy. What did I say? His percentage. Dude, got you. Hold on. And literally 5 minutes before this broadcast, I went on my United app and I booked him a one-way ticket back to, I hope I got it right. Oh my God. I hope I got it right. From airport he's at, and I think Fort Myers or wherever, back to Chicago. I forward him the thing, and he's calling me right now probably because I don't know why, but I'll call him in a second. And he's all set. So he has a seat on a flight for tomorrow back to school. So he can do that. Anyway, that's his perspective, right? That's an emotional creature asking for something in a way. And my appropriate response is, since I understand that and I empathize with it, I just got it done for him. Does that make sense? I'm going to save all the questions for how this whole thing happened later. But right now the kid needs to get home, so that's what he really wants, and that's what I give him, right? That's just how this service industry works. When I have to go for so long, I understand where you're coming from. Let me ask you a question. If we could do this sooner, but it didn't give the best results, would that be something that you want too? No, I didn't think so, but do me a favor. I know it's hard. Just hang in there, put your head down, grind this out. I'll make it as pleasant as I can for you. I'll get your first in and first out, and we just get this thing done. Okay? Is that illegal? Is that against the rules? But it's all about perspective. And one of the things that you will learn with us if we ever have the pleasure of serving you is constantly going through your entire day with your team, with your patients, whatever, looking at their perspective as just as much, if not more, than your own perspective. And I got to tell you, that just blows shit out of the water. Things change. Absolutely, things change. As opposed to the typical chirocentric, selfish, internalized, the ostrich with their head in the sand mentality, which is essentially how this profession has been operating for close to 100 years, and we're trying to change that. You know what I'm saying? That is what we are talking about, okay? Sean Rundle says, I can't think of a business that I've visited for a solution to a problem I'm having, only to question their process. Yes. Why would you go and question the process? Because I'm going there because I trust them, right? They're there with you because they trust you as well. Okay. So again, let me summarize this. How do you explain? Why do I have to come for so long? You know what? Agreement. I understand it's a lot, and because it is. Okay. Don't downplay it. Don't defend it. Oh, it's not really that much. Well, is it a lot compared to what? Is it a lot compared to being admitted in a hospital in a coma for a year? Like, that's how the old school chiro coaches used to teach us how to get out of this one. No. The marketplace is so sophisticated now. You can see right through that like Swiss cheese. You're done if you do that. Agree. Yeah, I can see why you would say that. If I had to go somewhere twice a week, 3 times a week to get something corrected, I mean, man, I'm a busy guy too, and I would understand how much work that would be. I totally get it. But let me just tell you, it is what it is, and this is exactly what it takes to get this thing corrected. I wish I could do it sooner for you, and frankly, I will try to do it faster for you. But I need you to understand that this is the way I know how to do it, and if I know how to do it this way, that way we can get this thing corrected once and for all, so it doesn't keep coming back. That way you can move on with your life, so you never have to see someone like me 3 times a week forever. Would that work for you? Okay, doctor. Right? So that's what we're trying to accomplish here. Agree. Ask them the other alternatives, and you could script this however you want. It's tough to get this wrong if you start with agreement. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, avoid things that are not applicable to the emotion that's being met with. So if they're concerned, they're irritated, they're scared, do not hit them with logic is what I'm saying. Okay? I mean, for the husbands in the room, I only have the male perspective. When your wives are, or your spouse, whoever they are, they're so mad at you. I don't know, have you learned? Like, you can't hit them with logic. Do you understand? You're sleeping in the car. You feel me? You meet them where they're at. And that's the appropriate way to communicate. That's a human thing. That's in the How to Be a Good Human manual. But somehow we miss the lesson when it comes to our practice and our business, especially with new patients or patients in general. Okay? All right, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to call the kid back, make sure he's not stuck in South Florida. Not a bad place to be stuck, but he needs to get home. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Have a great time. Hey, make sure you put a comment here. Let me know if the stuff you like. The more you tell me you like it, the more we can put out stuff like this. And also, next masterclass session is in effect right now. If you want to get in, just PM me. We'll send you a link. That way we can get you guys started. Otherwise, you have a great rest of the day. Take care.